कान भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है। गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है। नंदलाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है।
Radhe Radhe. Welcome to Krishna Bhakti Ras 37.
प्यारा नाम है। मोर मुकुट सिर गल बनमाला केसर तिलक लगाए। केसर तिलक लगाए वृंदावन की कुंज गले।
I would first like to greet you all a very happy, prosperous and peaceful New Year. And I hope and pray that your Krishna Bhakti, our Krishna Bhakti, will keep growing each day, each moment. Life is unpredictable, so Bhakti is something that we must keep increasing and improving every day of our lives. So I shall start by sharing a few short Leelas of who else but our dearest Banke Behari, the king of Vrindavan. And I hope as you listen to these Leelas, you will be inspired to visit Vrindavan and take his darshan. And who knows, the next Leela might be with you or with me. So we start with the story of one man who was on a train from Delhi to Ambala. And seated next to him was an old lady. And she was crying. She was continuously crying. He was worried. He approached her, asked her what happened. She didn't want to say anything. She just kept crying. Upon repeated asking, she finally pushed one envelope into his hand. And he asked her what it was. And then she shared her story with him. She said, "I'm so unfortunate. I went to Banke Behari temple. I put 200 rupees inside the donation box. And I went forward for darshan and asked for prasad. And the pujari, one of the pujaris, gave me one pera. I wanted two. I told him, I have given 200 rupees, at least give me two peras in return. He said, no, that's okay. So I got angry, the old lady said. I got angry and I left the pera there, the prasad there, and I walked out of the temple. I was not angry only at the pujari, I was also angry at Banke Behari. And I went outside and sat down. And when I went there, one boy came to me, a small boy, and gave me a white envelope and said, Maji, can you hold this envelope for me while I go and wash my hands? So I did that. And I waited for him to come back. And I waited and waited. And he never came. And finally, I opened the envelope. Inside the envelope, I found 200 rupees and 4 peras and a small bottle of scent and a small piece of cloth with the note, Maiya, apne lala pe naraz mat hua karo. Meaning, Ma, don't get angry at your small child. And this was Banke Behari. I got angry and look, he came and gave me prasad with his own hands. And for 2 weeks now, the smell of this perfume has not left my hands. This is how merciful Banke Behari is. He picks the devotees with whom he does Leelas. He knows their heart. And he is super merciful. We shall now go on to the next Leela. The next Leela is about a lady who would often be seen on the Parikrama Marg in Vrindavan, offering waters to devotees who were doing the Parikrama. And she would often be seen singing songs of Krishna and crying with bhakti. And when people would stop to ask her why she is doing this seva, why she is in Vrindavan, she shared her story with them. She said that my father had mortgaged his house to a cruel moneylender. And then the time came when my father repaid the loan. But the moneylender, he still wanted to claim the house. So he said that he has not received the money from my father. And he filed a case in court. So when the court case was heard, the moneylender, of course, he had money, he had his witnesses, and my father had nobody. So the judge gave some time to my father and said, please look for a witness and come back. Who will my father go to? So my father came to Vrindavan. He slept outside Banke Behari temple. And he told Banke Behari his problem. And Banke Behari appeared in his dream and said, it's okay. You go back home. Go to the courtroom. I will be your witness. So he went back. At the next hearing, the judge called the case. And when the old man was asked to present his witness, who's your witness? He said, it's Banke Behari. So the court personnel asked Banke Behari to come and give his testimony. And suddenly, somebody appeared, a man with a blanket wrapped around him, and said, yes, I am the witness. And he gave witness, and he told the judge exactly where the moneylender had hid the file, in which it showed that he had received the money from my father. And the moneylender was caught lying. The file was found, and the house was returned to my father. After that, I came to Vrindavan. I'm here. I haven't left. I'm hoping to see Banke Behari. And the judge, do you know what happened to him? When he saw Banke Behari being called, he saw the face of God. When he turned around, Banke Behari had disappeared. And the judge, he could not believe it. He gave up his profession. He left his family. He left everything and went and settled down in Vrindavan. I don't know if that lady ever saw Krishna, but when I went to Vrindavan in the 70s, I saw the judge. He was called Judge Baba. And he had left everything, hoping to be with his Behari, and once more getting to see the beautiful chabi of Banke Behari. This ends the second Leela, and we shall go on to the third Leela. So hope you've been enjoying the Leelas of Banke Behari. The third Leela is about a ticket collector. He was on the train that used to shuttle between Mathura and Vrindavan. And when the train came to Vrindavan, it would stop for some time, and the ticket collector would quickly run to Banke Behari temple to take darshan of his worshipable Lord. So he used to do that every time the train would stop in Vrindavan for some time. But one day when he went to Banke Behari temple, darshan was closed. And he waited there. He did not want to leave without taking darshan of his Lord. When he got back, the train had left. He had missed his train. He felt that he had made a mistake in his duty, so he went to the administration office to give his resignation. And the man in charge there said, "Why are you giving your resignation? You just now have filed the papers for the train that has left for Mathura. How come you are here again? But the man said, I did not go on the train. And then he realized that because he had been late, it's his Banke Behari who took his form and took his duty of ticket collector and went on the train to Mathura. And the man gave up his job as ticket collector, and he too settled down in Vrindavan forever. The next katha is about a businessman who came to Vrindavan with his wife and 3 children. This happened just recently in 1958. So they reached Mathura and they hired a taxi rickshaw to bring them to Vrindavan. And he asked the taxi driver how much he will charge. And the man was very polite and he said, I'm your servant. Whatever you give me, I will take that. Don't worry. They reached Vrindavan. It was late. There was a lot of crowd. They had their luggage in the rickshaw. And the rickshaw driver told them that if you're going to do any delay or get delayed, you will not get darshan today. So you better leave your children and the luggage here and you go quickly with your wife and take darshan first. Then you can bring your children tomorrow for darshan. So the man did that. He was impressed with the rickshaw driver. He went in, he took darshan, he came out, and when they came out, they could not find the rickshaw. No rickshaw, no children, no luggage. And the man was panicking, his wife was panicking. What has happened to our children? Where did they go? They filed a complaint in the police station, and then they went back to Banke Behari to pray to him, to beg for his mercy to help them. And as they reached the temple of Banke Behari, the man saw the taxi driver there. And he ran towards him and caught him by the neck and said, Where are my children? And the man said, I'm not a taxi driver. I'm a criminal. I kidnap children. I was planning to kidnap your children. I brought them to the Yamuna river. And there, one man stopped my rickshaw. One young boy stopped my rickshaw and said, You bring these children back. Otherwise, I will make you blind. He said he realized that this man, this little boy who has stopped his rickshaw, must be none other than Krishna. So he fled from there and he came back with the children and the luggage. This is how Banke Behari looks after those who come to see him. He's closely watching each one and looking after them. Merciful Banke Behari. So I have shared with you 4 kathas of Banke Behari, and I will share one last one, but this one is set in Jaipur. But it's also a Krishna katha, Radha katha. There was a rich businessman who had 3 children. And he always considered that I have 4 children. His first 3 were boys. And he said, I have 4 sons and my youngest son is Krishna. So whatever he would buy for his 3 sons, he would make sure and buy exactly the same thing for Krishna. Of course, it was the Murti of Krishna, but he did not consider it a Murti. He considered this as to be as Krishna himself. So as the children grew up, the man never forgot to do that. For him, Krishna was always his 4th son. When the children grew up, they got married. So he had 3 daughters-in-law. Then he was thinking, what about my Krishna? I have to also get him married. So he got a Radha. He had the marriage ceremony performed. And then he was happy. He said, all my 4 children are now married and settled down. And whatever he would buy for his 3 daughters-in-law, he would also buy for Radha. He said, she is my daughter-in-law also. One day, a man came there to that area selling bangles. And the man told his daughters-in-law to go and choose the bangles that they want, and he would pay for it. So they chose, and after a while the person selling the bangles came to him and told him that your 4 daughter-in-laws have gotten bangles from me, and this is the bill. And the man, he said, but I have only 3 daughters-in-law. And the bangle seller said, I have sold 4 of them. And your youngest daughter-in-law, she was the prettiest, the brightest, the fairest. She was shining like she looked like a Devi to me. And then the man realized. He said, this is my youngest daughter-in-law, Radha. He fell at the feet of the bangle seller and said, you are blessed. You have seen Radha. Give me your blessing. Then he went to his altar. He cried and said sorry to Radha. He said, I'm sorry. This time I forgot. I forgot that I have 4 daughters-in-law. And thank you for reminding me. See, this is what they say, that any relationship that we keep with Krishna and Radha, they reciprocate in the same relationship. They never fail. We might fail, we might forget, but they never fail. Hope you have enjoyed these kathas. May you be blessed. May your bhakti increase. And may you go to Vrindavan again and again. Jai 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 Sri Radhe Shyam.
भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है, गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है, नंदलाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है। श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा